Bring me to the stage, bro.
Rio Ferdinand, come to the stage front and center. You've been on podcast capping. So just remember what you said and at least be wrong and strong and stand on it, because then no one can say Rio Ferdinand's capping. I'm glad that you've admitted guilt finally and you've worked behind the scenes to get off the charges, but
You went too far. You went too far.
nah, man.
Thank you, Joel, for bringing this up, yeah? It was just more about, you know what, give a man a bit of grace. Give a man a little bit of a squeeze.
Karel don't care.
Sometimes you talk like the man in the barbershop, when you just go and you say something mad. That's how the Koscielny thing happens.
Did I say that?
You the best all time, Prem.
The best what?
You the best all time, Prem. You're in my top four. You're in my top four for sure.
That's 1,000,000% fourth. No one has a top four.
Yes, guys, great to be back with another episode of Rio Presents. We're here. I'm back with the guys. The boys are back in town. Joel and Steve, my guest hosts, we're here. How are we doing, guys? How you been?
Yeah, man. All
I'm
right.
good, man.
Yeah, you been all right?
Feeling good. Look at me, brother. I got my crafted on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finally came through. Thank you.
Yeah. This episode, as you can see in the background as well, is brought to you by Crafted, guys. So yeah, I got mine on under here actually. I've been in the gym, so it's been underneath. But yeah, man. So how you guys doing, man? Joe, you were the England cap the other day. What have we seen anything? Heard anything? What's going on?
Man, it was wicked, man. Honestly, going down there, it's always a pleasure to go down there. And it's been a minute since I've been. And the first thing I can say is the boys look happy. I had the chance to talk to one or two of the players there. I saw Ollie Watkins, caught up with Jed Spence as well. Looking at your interview with Steven Gerrard, where you guys talk about how you didn't really like each other. I wasn't there when you guys were in the England camp, of course, but it seemed totally the opposite of what you and Stevie were talking about. These guys are mates. They do exercises where they're forced to be around different people and different teammates. They all go out for lunch together. It was a real eye opener. I really liked it. Steve, what about you? The international break, it allows for football, to be seen in a different way, and you focus on other pyramids of football. No?
Yeah, we had a game at weekend. A team that had only lost once this season. They had quite a lot of draws, so I had a bit of an idea that they'd probably be real tough to beat. And I had 18 players missing. What we can't do is concede first, which is what we did. So we had to throw the kitchen sink at it. Finally get a penalty in the 85th to equalise it. And I had the lads kicking off with me saying, are we changing the shape? Because I'm literally just playing 2 at the back, 1 in midfield, 7 forwards. We're trying to get that goal. And I said, nope, we ain't. We're going for the winner. I don't come for draws. We only come to win. And we get a free kick in the 98th minute. And my boy Omar steps up and sticks it in a joint. And The kid's got an actual highlight reel of just game-winning free kicks. And literally, lads on the sideline going, this is Beckham versus Greece, 2001, this. He's going to step up and he's going to bury it. Now, obviously, you was on the pitch for that, weren't you, when Beckham did that? Yeah. What was your thoughts? Because I actually thought he was going to score as he stepped up to take that.
I wasn't actually playing that well in that game, and I was just begging, saying, please, I don't want to get me the one that it looks like has undone us going to a tournament. And I was just thinking Bex, and Bex actually in that game was playing like Superman. Yeah, he was like Roy of the Rovers, and when it was him to step up, I was wishing there was no he's going to score. But to be fair, Bex is probably the only player that I've played with who, when he went up for a free kick in and around the box, I used to think it felt almost like a penalty at times. He was that good. He was that clean at it. And I've been around some great free kick takers like Cristiano, Lamps. Bex was the only one who can give you that feeling like this is almost as good as a pen. And he was and on that day he produced the moment we needed.
If you had one player ever to take a free kick to save your life, is it Beckham?
Yeah, 100%. And the next one will be Del Piero. Oh no, the next one will be Baggio. Del Piero, Juninho, remember him?
Juninho Pernambucano, mate. Yes.
Oh, what a free kick taker he was. No, but yeah, there was like Del Piero, Baggio, Maradona, like these players. There were some great players, but Juninho was one of those ones that used to go, wow, like he used to move the ball ridiculously well.
Who would you have in today's game? Who's the dead ball free kick specialist?
What's his name? Used to be at Southampton's at West Ham now.
Ward-Prowse.
Ward-Prowse.
It is, but how is it though? Like, where's the sexy names?
Yeah. I don't see that. Who's out there now that you go, oh, a free kick pops up and you go, oh, I wish I want him to be on it. Who is it?
It's Ward-Prowse, bro. Like, there's no it has to be. Like, it's not as defined as it used to be, I would say. It's not. Let us know in the comments. We could be wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe we're overlooking people. Just
What was the kid at West Ham called a few years ago that went to Marseille? Forgot his name.
Hayek.
He was
Hayek,
bad.
that was it.
He was bad. Yeah, he was bad.
Tops.
Yeah, I don't know who there is now. I'm looking and thinking about players to take free kicks. Who are they?
It's
Like,
not
no
as
one's
clean
banging in
as it
five,
used to
like
be, man.
6 of them a season. Three. Who's doing it?
Not now.
Declan Rice.
Declan Rice. But we're saying that mostly based on the game against Real Madrid.
Yeah,
Like,
2 goals.
You know what I mean?
I can't.
He's not got a
find
volume, has he? He's not got a body of work.
one. The body of work, the volume.
Great
Where
call.
were you guys on that with thingy guys about with Scholesy saying he touches it too much and the stud rolling and that? Where are you with that?
With Declan Rice,
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of what modern midfielders do. Scholes was someone that obviously he tried to play on 2 as much as possible, didn't he? But Scholes could do that sometimes if he was trying to find an angle. Literally that same move.
Yeah.
Do you know what my favourite Scholesy move was? That used to send defenders west, and I don't see anybody in the current game doing it whatsoever. He would have a little body feint towards the ball as it was coming towards him.
Yeah, and let it roll across him.
Yeah, let it run and then pick it up. Oh my, he's took 2
know-
players out. How's he done
you
that?
know-
He's not even touched the ball.
But do you know why you don't see that often? Because it's so hard to do. Because you're taking your body weight's going over and past the ball from where it came from, and then it's on your weak foot 99 times out of 10, or most of the time. So your next touch is with your weakest foot to set you up to then pass. That's what Scholesy's normal run was. He gets that yard, but Scholesy won't want them to take 2 or 3 touches. He'd smash it straight away or take one
First
touch.
time.
So it's like it was such a hard skill to do, but you got to have it's about awareness, about touch, spatial awareness as well, and then the weight of the ball's got to be right. So obviously the weight of the ball was always right because it was me.
Have you ever tried to do it and fuck it up?
Yeah, always in training. That's what centre half. That's why I say about centre halves going into midfield is so hard. That's one of the moves that you kind of need to get out of trouble sometimes and let it run across your body. But because we haven't got the wing mirrors to see what's behind, sometimes you see centre halves going in midfield or letting the ball roll across them. It's blind. They don't know what's there, and all of a sudden, bang, they get smashed.
Do you know who was wicked at that, Rio? Thiago. He doesn't get enough credit for it.
Oh
man.
yeah, Thiago was good. At
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Thiago
What a
was
player.
good at that.
He's one that you need to speak to, Rio, because
Yeah, I've reached out to him a few times. He's coaching now, isn't he? So it might be a bit difficult for him. But he's Thiago, if you're out there, man, you need to start responding properly, man. No issue. What's your business? Want to get you on?
Yeah.
We've got some good ones coming up, by the way, guys. The Rio meets have been going crazy. Stevie's ones that is breaking records up for us online, and it's been crazy. It's been shared by loads of different people.
Honestly, did not want to watch it. I couldn't think of a single reason why I would want to watch it. But how complimentary about United is he?
Yeah, he was. I just think Stevie's one of those guys. He's quite a straight up guy, and he'll put rivalries to one side if there's respect that needs to be given, and he does that.
What have you learnt about Steven Gerrard the most since you've retired from football?
I just saw a burning desire in there for him to get back into management and to really have another go, and he's desperate for that, I think. Obviously, it hasn't materialised with Rangers, and I think they had a lot of Rangers fans watch the pod in hope that he was going to say something, and then afterwards he would do something. I think the reports are saying that he's not accepted the job, but I think is to understand how important this kind of next step is for him. I had to sit with him like I did to understand that, but also that the respect, like Steve said, the respect he had for our team, our club, and for football in general was really nice and refreshing to see, because again, like he don't really get too high or too low about anything. He's quite a measured character in that sense, and you see that throughout the interview. He's good.
And anyway, I've had enough of you talking shit, Rio. It's time to pull up some receipts, and I know a man that can pull up some receipts.
Mr. Karel Prince, can you please make your way to the stand? Yeah, right. Oh my gosh! It's
Did it
been
just get
going on.
warm in here, Rio, or was it me?
Yeah, it's sweating. I'm sweating up now, boy. I'm sweating up. The aircon just gone straight on to
Because
100.
I tell you what, you might have got done with a graphic in the first one, but the last one that I've seen, you are bang to rights.
Yeah, I've got to hold my hands up. The Kashani one got me. But listen, how you doing, Karel, man? You have taken over social media recently, especially in the football world. What made you start this, and how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I just came here to collect some bills. First and foremost, I'm glad that you've admitted guilt finally. See, Rio, what you've done over the last few weeks is you wielded your power. Do you know what I'm saying? You sent the media team to tell me the receipts that it was supposed to be and whatnot, and you've worked behind the scenes to get off the charges. But I'm glad now that I'm here, you've accepted the charges. But what made me start this was I just like fact checking things, to be honest. Like when it comes to movies and whatnot, I'm all about, if it's based on a true story, I want to find out if it's actually a true story. And then I just heard I watch a lot of football podcasts. I heard a few stories, they're not sounding right. I thought, you know what? Let me look into them. And lo and behold, I landed on a gold mine of footballers bending the truth, forgetting that people were supposed to be there when they weren't supposed to be there and all that sort of stuff. So
What's the most outlandish, outrageous one you've heard that you've gone, no, that is way, way left field from the truth?
Do you know what? There's two. The first one, Lee Clark saying he played against Zidane in the Champions League when he's never played in the Champions League or against Zidane. It really like that one sticks with me. I know you're looking at me like that, Steve, bro. He said it.
No, I'm not looking like you. I'm just thinking like, how do you not know that you didn't play in the Champions League?
Mate, I don't know. And the worst part is, it's like, no disrespect to the clubs, but the clubs he was playing for, like, for a good part of his career weren't like Champions League teams, Sunderland, Fulham. It wasn't him. So where he got Zidane in the Champions League from, I don't know. And the other one is Carlton Palmer. He said he played against John Terry in 1991 when John Terry was 10 years old. That one sits with me as well, because maybe I'm just a football fan and I remember a lot of stuff where I can recognize players, but some of these guys are just...
Yeah, how'd you not know you didn't play in the Champions League?
Have you ever been worried about posting something? Like you've done a video and you go, I don't know about this one, this one might be a bit too far or whatnot?
No, not really. But I can always preemptively guess the reaction. So if I make a video about, it's good that Rio said a United player, I know social media is going to be up in arms because they love their legends, innit? So they're always they're always going to defense mode. But no, I don't think so, because it's a story, it's facts. I don't go into people's personal lives or question anything controversial or stuff that happened behind the scenes. It's usually just things that happen on the pitch. So, it's all in jest, really. So, if I was getting personal with people, I'd be a bit more worried, but it's not that. It's just facts, not feelings.
Who's reacted badly?
I would say Carlton Cole. He definitely Carlton Cole. He wasn't very happy. He was commenting like crazy stuff, saying I was like playing with his name and X, Y, and Z. But we hashed it out. We had a call. I explained what I was doing. He explained where he was coming from, and it's all good now. I hope we're friends.
And what about? I saw the one that you did, where it didn't go down well, bro. The Jose Mourinho one. You're talking about staying away from legends. That's the first time that I've seen the comments turn on you. I said, ooh.
You know what? Mourinho was a litmus test, because I need to know if people care about the truth or care about their legends. You get me? So
Yeah, I like that.
And with Mourinho, it was a minor one, but the issue with it is, okay, cool, it's a detail that you've changed, but you're changing it to enhance a story. Like, if the story is good enough on its own, then you don't need to change nothing. But it's Mourinho.
You went too far. Because the funny thing is, he was still telling the truth. He was like, maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes apart from the actual event.
But that's a big difference.
Nah, you were scraping that one. You were scraping that one.
No, Joe, let me ask you this here. If you're a manager and you give a team talk, and you tell a player, don't do anything silly, don't go crazy, don't get sent off, right? And he gets sent off 1 minute after the restart versus 15 minutes after the restart, it's a big difference. It's the same with Rio. Rio, when it came to Gerrard's 30-second red card and the one you tried to show me from 4 years earlier, it's two different events.
No,
bro.
but that was an accident. And again, that's another example because they just got the game. They got the wrong game in their mind. That wasn't them trying to add to the story. That was a genuine mistake. You got to remember, some of these players, they played like 1,000 games, bro. I can't remember everything I did in Sunday League football. So you can't.
All I thought was, and thank you, Joel, for bringing this up. Yeah, it was just more about, you know what, give a man a bit of grace, give a man a little bit of a squeeze. You know what I mean?
And I was like, Real, do you know what? I was coming here today to say, you know, upon review of that one, I'm shifting the charges from you to Steven Gerrard because Gerrard brought up the red card and he knew the one he was talking about. And and when I watched it, I said, the man said, yeah, Rio, you did this. Remember, it was you. And then I think in the moment, you're like,
he got peer pressured.
It was a red card. Maybe I have spoken to the referees before. You didn't sound convinced when you gave your response.
All that came up in my mind was your face. I just thought, I can't go with this. I can't go full hit with this. And now this is the great thing about what you've done, Karel, yeah, is that man are now talking on these podcasts, and when people are throwing situations and moments at them, they're having to go, hold on a minute. Let me just rewind and have a little understanding of where was I there? Let me just make sure before we go. Can we edit this, guys? Have you got an editing team here just to go back? So because people are thinking that and they don't want to be on the receiving end of what you're doing. So on that side of things, you're going to clear up a lot of rubbish because there's a lot of rubbish things being said out there, and no one's being made accountable. And you, my friend, are now doing that, and I love it.
Yeah,
but
man.
You know what? You know what it is though. Like some of it is. I look at the podcast or the show that someone's on and I'm like, it's not even live, you know. You can actually just take a minute and go like, have we got this right? Like, can we redo that little bit and make sure that we've got the facts and figures correct? I blame sometimes the interviewer, sometimes the research team. They're tripping the players up, man. Like you said, they played 1,000 games. There's got to be someone to be held accountable.
Can you give us the famous line that Joel said at the beginning, please? Just give us a live one here, please.
Well, but who do you want me to bring to the stage so I can
Rio.
Bring me to the stage, bro.
Rio Ferdinand, come to the stage front and center. You've been on podcast capping. And do you know what it is with you, Rio, actually? What I'll say is, and this is why you're too real. Because I think sometimes you forget that you're Rio Ferdinand and you got a big platform because sometimes you talk like the man in the barbershop, you know, like, you know, when you just go and you say something mad and then obviously by the time you come back for your next trim, nobody really remembers the mad things you were saying or someone might pull you up on it. But big platform, bro. Like when you came out and said Desiree Doué should win the Ballon d'Or. That was in the moment. That was real during the Champions League final. Obviously, he didn't win it. I don't think he finished top 3, maybe not even top.
Desiree, did I say that?
Yeah, you said that during the final when he scored his second goal. He's like, give him the Ballon d'Or now.
Yeah, that's emotion, bro. You got to allow the emotion to come out of people.
I said you're real, bro.
Oh,
and
okay,
it was the same after PSG with Oli. You know, give him the contract now. Oli at the wheel, sign it now. You're real for that. You know, at least because that's why I allow you sometimes because it's live TV. But those kind of things, if in 5 years' time it's not panning out the way it's supposed to pan out, that's how the Koscielny thing happens. So just remember what you said and at least be wrong and strong and stand on it because then no one can say Rio Ferdinand's capping.
Do you know what they're not getting you on? They're not getting you blagging about your career, which is what a lot of them are doing. That's what Karel's pulling up a lot of people, bigging up their own career that they did this, that and the other. I mean, I think you could have a whole 1 hour episode on Gabriel Bonloho saying that he got the better of Nemanja Vidic. Like, I think Vidic scored as many against Villa as Gabriel Bonloho scored against United.
Did he say that, Gabby? Did Gabby say that?
Yeah, this ties in with another case that I had to unravel. So Gary Taylor-Fletcher, ex-Blackpool, he said that he ripped up Nemanja Vidic when they were in the Prem. Obviously, you didn't play in either game. You were injured that season, I believe. But I did watch both full games. I don't want to say the website, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's going to get me in trouble, but you can find the full games. I went and watched both games, home and away, against Blackpool, and he did not do that. So the next one is...
That's the kind of pettiness I live for, by the way. Getting the full 90 minutes out, a notepad and pen and sitting there and studying it. Yeah.
To say that one of the best defenders to ever play in this league, a 2-time Premier League player of the season, was like... lunch food for you. I don't buy it. I don't buy it because if you can do a Vidic so easily I would expect you to have some Champions League experiences.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
I know. Listen, on any day, someone can have the better of you. That's a fact. But I don't think Fletcher's ever had the kind of the vim. He's never had the chest out business running around near Nemanja Vidic. Definitely, you'd have been walking about with his head turtleneck a little bit at times, thinking, where is he? He's going to come through me. Listen, and I think your memory sometimes, over time, it starts playing tricks with you a little bit in these situations. And it's even like the Torres situation. He got sent off a few times in that Vida, but how many times did Torres actually score in those games? Like, the amount of games he played to goals to games ratio wasn't like, oh my God, he's torn Vidic up. Like, he scored a couple of goals. He weren't crazy.
It's moments. It's really moments. And I find that, like, with and it's a common theme. I'd like to ask you about this, Rio, because you'd be on, like, let's say, the receiving end of this, is when these players, and no disrespect to them, of like on a lower tier, are making claims of, because a lot of these stories are players that didn't do as much as the guy they're telling the story about, but that player isn't going to respond. So how do you find it when, like, you might hear a story from another player, or you see a report of another player saying something about you or your ability? Do you feel the need, like, do you get an urge to respond and choose not to? Do you respond behind the scenes, or do you just keep it classy and keep it moving?
I think it depends on the mood. It also depends on how much alcohol you got in your system. Because if you've got any alcohol, if you drunk any type of alcohol that day, and someone comes with any type of nonsense, the clapback is real. It comes straight out. But I don't know. It's like, I look at it now. I love American sports and the way they report and the media is around it, right? And the athletes, they're so kind of like, a lot of the time it's like they're up front and it's like they're talking to the media. If there's something to be said, they're up front, they'll say it, right? And I always used to wish that we could be like that more. We're just frowned upon for doing it. So I'm in a stage of my life now. If a man says to me, do you think you was the best? Yes, I was. Do you think you was better than this certain person? Yes, I was. I just wish that you could go hear the clips and you could just back it up, because I know my clips. Someone sent me a clip the other day actually from the team, and of me, and some moments, and I watched it and I thought, you know what? I actually don't say enough. I actually don't speak about myself enough. For what I just watched here, there ain't no player doing what I do here in the game. There's no player. Hold on a minute. I had to rewind it a few times and go, hold on, is that me? I forgot.
You're the best. You're the best all time, Prem.
The best what?
Are you the best centre back all time, Prem?
My mind, yeah.
Yeah, man. Do you know what, Steve? You know you're shaking your head, Steve. No, because he reckons it's Yap Stam. But I'll tell you what, yeah. Yap Stam couldn't play ball like Rio. I was watching a Yap Stam clip the other day. I didn't bother sending it to Rio. I just couldn't be bothered, yeah. But he was more of an aggressor, which we know he had that fighting spirit. He was a warrior, like real, like strong like that. But he couldn't play football like Rio. He couldn't
just
play
quickly,
ball.
Joel. Just quickly.
Sorry.
There's probably 3 or 4 names that are all worthy shouts to be considered the best, and I think all of them could put a case forward for themselves to be the best. Yap Stam's one of them, 100%, right? But I'd say I'm the best. I don't care.
Yeah, facts. Tell him, Rio, man. Because I'm looking at Yap Stam, and as much as I loved him, you know, when you're younger, you look at different players regardless of the teams. He weren't pinging them balls that you were. He weren't breaking the lines.
He was just a different type, innit? I think sometimes it depends what you like, innit? He was a different type. You could leave him 1v1 anywhere all the time. But this is to go back to the point, Karel. But we could pull up a clip of all of the players that we would all consider the best, right? And go, oh, they were made mugs that day. There was a moment in that game. Oh my God!
Hey, Anthony Martial sending Virgil van Dijk to the shops.
Yeah, there's moments. There's moments. There are moments of them times.
I've seen them. I've seen moments of everyone. Like it's one of them. But I would say I was having a discussion the other day. Like I won't say where, but you're in my top 4. You're in my top 4 for sure.
That's fourth. That's 1,000,000% fourth. No one has a top 4.
Nah, he's actually it teeters between 3rd and 2nd for me. But the top 3 always changes.
Do you know why I think it's Yap Stam as number 1? And there's a couple of reasons for it, right? He wasn't as nice as Rio on the ball, right? And I think if you bring any of them into 2025, because of the way the game has gone, Rio looks even better than he did at the time, which was unbelievable. And I think he was the best player on the planet, centre-half wise, for a few years. Like when United signed him, for sure, he was in the mix. But Yap Stam's ability 1v1 he had Rio's pace, and he had a little bit of physicality about him as well. And I think he was probably a little bit better in the air. But for me, who comes in and wins 3 titles back-to-back and dips? It was incredible.
Rio won
he
3
was a
titles
joke.
back to back.
Yeah, but he only had 3 goals at it.
It's true.
No,
but
physically, but you would probably put like Yapstam's rivals like would be more like someone like even like a Sol Campbell in the profile of player we're talking, not
Agreed.
ability, just the profile of player. They were similar in so many respects. I think my partnership with Yapstam would have been a joke if we played together.
Oh, that
Like,
wouldn't
he
have
was-
been allowed. That couldn't have been allowed.
That would have been cheat code, I think.
when it comes to players, I always think that for me, I like the ones that could transcend eras. So like Rio obviously played 90s, 2000s, but I could see him playing now and starting for like every team in the world. And there's only a couple of them that were, you could say, ahead of their time then, but still top for their era and could be top now. And that's how I kind of, how I do it. I can understand why Yapstam would be up there in terms of for his time, but I don't know. I just don't see it, those type of players being able to survive now.
Do you think, I'm going to go through a couple of players, do you think Gabriel at Arsenal is much better on the ball than Yapstam? Do you think Rudiger's better than Yapstam on the ball?
Oh,
That's closer than that's close, that one.
And these players are considered some of the best defenders in the world right now.
true, but then I guess that would change with the era that you play in, isn't it? So if you're allowed to express it more, you can look better at it. But then I also think if you could do it, you would do it. Like there's for example in my era growing up, 'cause obviously I'm a bit younger, but like watching say you and John Terry and then seeing what you guys could do on the ball, you were expressing it at the time where other defenders weren't. So it's like, cool, I can see it now. With the ones that can't, say theoretically, could they be better on the ball than a Gabriel or Rudiger? But I didn't see it as much. I didn't really get to express it. And it's no disrespect to.
Do you know who gets no love? No love whatsoever, and it's wrong.
Robbie Keane.
I stand by what I said. Thank you very much.
Why you keep being wrong and strong? It was
That's
bad.
Steve,
but
bro.
I'm sorry.
That's
Who says I'm
Steve.
wrong? How's an
That's
opinion
Steve.
wrong?
Oh, come on, man.
No, I don't even want to get to Robbie Keane. I love it.
Go back to what you
Listen,
were
from
going
a
to say.
technical
Steve.
point of view, who's out there that's a bagsman at the moment on Robbie Keane's level? There's not many. There are some, but there's not many.
In
There's
the Premier
certainly
League?
He was an average Premier League striker. That's the point
He
I was
wasn't
making.
an average
He
Premier
would
League
be
striker, though.
average.
He wasn't average.
got 100
Steve.
Premier League
He wasn't
goals, bro.
average.
He's literally
Come
average.
on, mate.
He wasn't
Oh,
average.
Come on, man.
He's literally average.
He played for Inter Milan.
And?
You can't say that Robbie Keane's average, bro. He's like...
I'm not talking like your Gabi Agbonlahar average. I'm talking that is an average good Premier League striker. Like that is a Premier League striker. Whereas you look now,
He was a good Premier League striker. He was definitely a
What 100?
Premier League striker.
Anyone who
Yeah,
scores
elite,
100.
no,
right
but-
now though, he would be elite, would he not? There's nobody.
Yes, I agree.
in
No,
that
I
league.
understand that
elite.
point. I agree with that point what you're saying. but
That's the
I
whole
wouldn't
point
say-
I was making.
No, you said Ballon d'Or. There's
Yeah. Ballon d'Or.
That's
there's
elite.
No,
Scott
no,
McTominay just got nominated. Don't tell me Robbie Keane's not on that list.
but he's not
Where
elite,
did
is
he
he?
finish?
Don't matter. He was nominated.
There's a list of 30 players that have and we know it's based on what you win that year rather than necessarily
Exactly.
how good you are
So
compared to each
would
other.
Robbie
Exactly.
Keane be nominated for a Ballon d'Or if he was playing now based on his abilities?
I reckon he would. I agree. I reckon he
There you
would.
go. That's all I was
I
saying.
think he would.
I didn't say he was
But I
winning
wouldn't.
it. I didn't
It's
say
the
he was winning
average
it.
part. The average part I don't agree with. When you're saying he was an average forward, he weren't. He
And
weren't
Ballon
average.
d'Or. And winning the Ballon d'Or. I don't agree with that as well.
Thank you.
Carol, you've impressed me. Like, you're obviously doing football content now, but you've actually got a decent knowledge of the game, bro. You might have to come on a regular basis.
That's the bit that I'm trying to show off a bit more. People think I just like screenshot stats on
Yeah.
on Twitter, but like genuinely, a lot of this stuff, obviously, if it's not players before my time, like I've watched the games. Like I did one recently on. I've got a question after this, but before I go, I did one on Evra, and he was talking about Paul Scholes getting 2 yellows, right? One before and after halftime, taken from the Mourinho story, basically. Even though Paul Scholes got two in the first half, and I remembered that game. Like I remember watching it. I remember like it happening. So because I got a good memory, and I can.
It was immediate. It was an immediate. You could go back and just fact check straight away. Cool.
But my last question for you is, what was going on at Old Trafford when Sir Alex Ferguson was there? Because why is it I keep getting you and all your teammates in these videos? Because Is the memory off? I don't know, man. Because I think I calculated it was like I've got you, Rooney, Evra, Scholes, and Butt, and I think that's the most for any one club that I've gotten so
Do
far.
you know the common denominator between all them players? They've all played 2 points. They've all played a hell of a lot of games at the top level in high pressure situations, and they've won a hell of a lot of trophies. So there's a lot to dissect. There's a lot to go through. Not many other clubs have that.
There's a couple of things. There ain't no Notts County legends out here on telly every week, for starters. And for 2, our lot drank a lot of champagne back in the day.
Champagne.
True. Yeah. No, I said that. The reason why there's a lot of United players is because it's a large part of the media, whether it's in the podcast space or the TV space. And you deserve it after winning so much. So that's all I can say.
Karel, you're going to be welcome back the way you're talking there. I love that.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you
so
man.
much.
But you know what I want to say?
Brilliant.
Just listen, continue what you're doing, man. I saw you. When did I message you? Ages ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, you hit me up. Like, to be honest, let me give Rio his flowers. Let me give him a rebate. If he ever says this, if I ever go places, he was one of the first. Like, he was genuinely one of the first, like, footballers and people in this space to reach out and show love, man. So I appreciate it. I want to say that in front of everyone. That's HMRC. We like to give our rebates when we can, and you get one for that.
Oh, thanks, man. Listen, great to have you on, Karel, man. Keep doing your thing.
I will do. Thank you.
Cool.
Cheers.
See you in a bit.
All right, before we finish up, Rio, we should discuss Jim Ratcliffe's comments on Ruben Amorim. He had an interview with The Times. And the United minority owner said, Amorim needs to demonstrate he is a great coach over 3 years. Look at Arteta at Arsenal. He had a miserable time for the first couple of years. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I saw that online, I was thinking, wow, are they really going to stick with him for 3 years if results keep going this way? What were your thoughts when you heard these comments?
You know what I do like? I just like to hear the people that are in the driving seat for a football club come out and speak. And that's what I liked about Jim Ratcliffe. I think he obviously went onto a podcast to speak about something totally different. But obviously that podcast isn't going to allow him to come on in such a moment and not ask him about Man United. So it's just refreshing that somebody in his position actually talks. Now, do I agree with exactly what he said? I understand the sentiment, but I don't. I mean, if you go through the facts, and we've had Mr. Fact Checker himself on, Karel, I don't think it's the right person to kind of draw a comparison with. I think you look at Arteta, the difference with Arteta, there are similarities in some of the stats, but in the big one is he improved the team from 10th to finish 8th in his first year, whereas Amorim took his team from 14th to finish 15th. There was also flexibility in the way that Arteta had his team. I think he had about 7 different formations in his first 50 matches. Just trying things out and looking at stuff. And I just think that you were seeing probably a bit of the improvement line would have been a bit more consistent. And you go, I can see it happening. Whereas with Amorim, you look at it and it's like, there isn't as much consistency or positives that are coming out of it that you're going, oh, I can actually see it clear. It's hitting me between my eyes now and I couldn't let this guy go completely. And I think right now, we're at a stage with Man United and Amorim. I just want to see that consistency of some results coming through, performance alongside that, and an idea that you go, oh, I can see this training ground stuff really paying off. And the consistency with all of those 3 different elements isn't there right now. And I'm hoping he can get that right.
Steve, what about yourself when you saw that in the Times?
I literally asked for it about 2 weeks ago on a podcast. I said I'd love it if they came out and actually said,
That's
this
what
is
I love,
our guy.
I agree.
Because the noise can't be helpful in the training ground, that indecision and stuff. And whether or not he actually goes and sees it through, it shows a bit of public support. Now, the reason that you're seeing Amorim laughing with like Wilcox and stuff at the train station, which kind of went viral a little bit, might be because he's secure in his position. It might be because he knows he might have had the conversation behind the scenes of, look, you don't need to get top 4 this season, but obviously you can't finish 15th. There has to be some sort of a progression, and it might take to the end of the season. Or they might have said to him, we know that you've got your new attack in. Let's see if that can bed in. We'll sort the midfield out next summer. So maybe he's already working on maybe not a 3-year timeline. Maybe it's a 1-2 year timeline where the progression has to be seen. I agree. If we end up finishing 15th and 15th, he ain't seeing 3 years. If we lose 5 games heavily back to back, he might go then. I think that there has to be evidence of progression. That's what's going to keep him going, but it quietens the noise down a little bit, because the noise has got to make it hard. There is a PR element to coming out and saying that. How are you supposed to attract players? How are you supposed to negotiate with players that you want to bring in January or next summer if all of this noise is about who the manager's going to be?
Also, just on that point, sorry to cut you, I think it's really important, the message sending out to the current squad as well. With that message, you don't get players sitting there going, oh, he's going to be off in a minute anyway. I can just sit here and chill. I can down tools. No, he's going to, in their eyes now, he ain't going, I better pull my finger out and start doing a bit.
Yeah, I think it's an absolutely positive thing. And I like Jim Ratcliffe's sort of desire to come out and speak. He seems like he's pretty accessible. You know, he does do podcasts, and when he's asked about stuff, he was at the London Marathon, and he got asked a question about United, and he doesn't say, oh, I'm here to run. He goes, yeah, I'll tell you. He's clearly recognising some of the issues. There was a line that he mentioned that you didn't pick up on, or you didn't mention there. Jim Ratcliffe mentioned that the squad's not been good enough. So I think if the ownership's looking at it saying the squad's not been good enough, then the ownership has got a responsibility to provide him a squad. And the comparisons with Arteta, it's only because it's the ones in recent memory. You can't really pull up too many other people that were given time and managed to turn it around, because football managers don't get enough time
anymore. It's true.
And Arteta's spent £1 billion on 40 players. Arteta's been allowed to buy 2 squads worth of players. You know, it's not just about how much money you spend, it's about how many players you're able to bring in that can affect that change. But you've got to remember as well, when Arteta took over Arsenal, that was his first managerial job. Amorim changed his formation frequently when he was at Sporting, probably because he was learning, you know, the strengths and weaknesses of that sort of stuff. You'll have done so much learning in your first 50 games as a manager that you'll have made some mistakes that you wouldn't have gone back to. Arteta probably made those mistakes. Now he basically, you know, the formation is a stock formation 4-2-3-1, right? I think there has to be some flexibility in terms of the midfield. I think there has to be some changes to that, because I see us incredibly vulnerable. And I'm seeing players do stuff that they don't necessarily do when they're with their national team, and they didn't necessarily do prior to Amorim coming. So I'm looking at players being given instructions, because it doesn't matter who plays in that midfield, they always press high. So I can't imagine it's not instructions at this point. And I think if we just had one person engage the ball and with the instruction of delay only, and one person screen the back 3, United would be so much harder to beat on the transition. We're hilarious on the transition at the moment. People go from the edge of their box to the edge of our box with 2 passes. It's not good enough. And I don't think you need to change much. I think, you know, the XG shows that we're creating chances. The finishes will come. I'm happy with that. We've got to be harder to beat. And I think a tiny little tweak in how we line this shape up. Like, Crystal Palace are probably one of the hardest teams to break down in the league. They play the exact same formation. So it's not the formation, it's the implementation.
Well, I think that's a nice way to finish up. A semi-positive vibe on Man United. Do you not think, guys? I hope he actually does well enough to see out 3 years, and that means we'll be in a better position than we are today. So good luck to Amorim on that. But
I'm
guys,
doing this weekend, Rio.
Anfield. They've
Take
had
a
time
point now, wouldn't you?
I'll take a point all day right now. But if we get a point there, it's a humongous result for us. And hopefully that instills some confidence. We'll see. But I'm not, again, I'm hopeful.
Very. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you catch up with the videos on this channel. The Steven Gerrard one was amazing. I've seen Rio teasing other interviews. I don't know where this Pogba interview's at. I see them chilling together in France, Paris week. I even tried to message him and say, Rio, what's going on with this Pogba thing, right? You know, I mean, he didn't give me too much. But yeah, all the interviews, make sure you check out Rio Meets. Rio Reacts as well is coming back soon. And yeah, shout out to Crafted, myself, Joel Bayer, Stephen Howson, Rio Ferdinand. Shout out to Karel Prince for joining us today as well. Yeah. Tax rebates given all across the board. And we're out. Peace.